Captain's Media Chronicle.
Crew change restriction is real and it is still a problem for the maritime communities. This is what we are going to discuss on this.
Captain's Media Chronicles. Captain's Media Chronicles, the best channel for me and to all the Filipino seamen and their family. Captain's Media Chronicles. Captain's Media Chronicles.
It has been more than 1.5 years when the corona pandemic had started, and so with the problem about the crew change because of the following reasons. Today is 26th of August 2021. Yet, until this day, the problem for crew change is real and is still ongoing in maritime communities worldwide. Despite of many seafarers had been vaccinated with anti-COVID, the problem which the owners, manning agencies, and the seafarers are still facing. Although the travel restrictions have been lifted partially, seafarers are free to travel as long as they have the negative result of COVID test, the COVID vaccination, and the required quarantine period. Our vessel is not exempted. Here on our ship, many officers and ratings are way beyond their contract. But until this time, they are still awaiting for them to be relieved, just like the other seafarers on the other vessels. Because of these reasons. Aside from these three, there are other reasons which most of the seafarers are not aware. I want to share these events which we had encountered on this vessel. Our vessel had loaded our cargo in Said, Qatar, wherein crew change is not allowed. We were scheduled to discharge our cargo in the following ports. Number 1, Kuantan, Malaysia. Number 2, Suhai, China. Number 3, Yeosu, South Korea. Our previous port of calls before in Said, Qatar were Yanbu, Saudi Arabia, and Al Jubail, Saudi Arabia. Our chief officer was not able to sign off on those ports because crew change are not allowed. Finally, our company managed to arrange the crew change for the chief officer in Port of Galle, Sri Lanka on 25th of June 2021. We arrived in Kuantan, Malaysia on 30th of June, but our vessel was not allowed to proceed on berth on the day we arrived because of these reasons. However, they agreed that our vessel would be allowed to berth only and discharge our cargo after all 20 officers and crew will take the COVID test and with negative result. The cost of COVID test was $100 per person. So we were able to avoid the required quarantine period of 10 days after this. And finally, we sailed from Kuantan on 2nd of July and then we proceed to Suhai, China. On 6th of July, we arrived in Suhai, China. However, because of this reason, our vessel was not allowed to berth on arrival. I tried to persuade the agent and the port authorities that the newly joined chief officer is having a COVID vaccination and that all the 20 officers and crew, including me, had undergone a COVID test with a negative result in Kuantan, Malaysia. But they did not accept it. Our vessel was allowed only to berth on 10th of July, after we have completed the 14 days quarantine period from the time we departed in Port of Galia, Sri Lanka. And so, finally, we departed from Suway on 14th of July. On 18th July, we arrived in Yeosu, South Korea, which is our last discharge port. And again, our vessel was not allowed to berth on the day we arrived because of this reason. After 4 days, on 24th of July, we were allowed to berth. Also, I want to share one more event which I experienced when I and another 5 Filipino crew were supposed to join a vessel in anchorage at Port of Manila on 4th of May this year. We were already in South Harbor and we were awaiting for the tugboat to bring us to the vessel. However, the quarantine officer did not allow us to join the ship because the hotel wherein we stayed for 7 days quarantine period is not accredited by the government or DOH. Also, I want to share to you this thing with regards to the crew change problem, and it happened on the ship where my nephew is currently on board. Their last port of call was somewhere in Indonesia. Then they proceed to Singapore for crew change purpose only. Without any problem, the on-signers were able to join the ship, and the off-signers disembarked from their vessel, and they were transported to Changi Airport. At the same time, their vessel departed from the port of Singapore. When the off-signers had arrived in Changi Airport in Singapore, and they were in the check-in counter, they were informed by the airline ground staff that they cannot travel to Manila because their vessel has originated from Indonesia, which is included on the list of COVID high-risk countries. They were ordered to return to their ship, and since their vessel had departed from Singapore, it was ordered to return for the off-signers to join the vessel again. As a result, their ship ended up with more crew on board than the required complements. The company has to pay for the salary of the newly joined crew and the supposed off-signers, and of course, the other expenses which were incurred. So, these are the problem which the owners of the ships are facing. For the manning agencies, these are the problems which they are facing as well. And for the seafarers, these are their problems. Salamat sa nakaisip nito, naging promotor. Kapsulweta, saludo po ako, viva mi amor. Ito ang best YouTube channel tungkol sa marino, Captain's Media Chronicles. Mag-subscribe na dito, come on, subscribe now. Don't you ever hesitate, it's a seaman YouTube channel, everybody can relate. Captain's Media Chronicles, the best channel for... So these are the problems which we are facing nowadays. It is not only the seafarers who are suffering, but also the ship owners and manning agencies. The main culprit is the COVID pandemic. And with the different COVID variants which are coming, we never know how long we have to wait for everything to be normal again. At this moment, we need to be patient and to endure our sufferings and worries.
Come on, subscribe now. Don't you ever hesitate. It's a Seaman YouTube channel, everybody can relate. Captain's Media Chronicles, the best channel for me And to all the Filipino seamen and their family, Captain's Media Chronicles. Captain's Media Chronicles.